Lunchtime on eNCA DSTV channel 403. Now, could we see another restriction on the sale of alcohol? The Ministerial Advisory Committee on COVID-19 has made recommendations for lockdown restrictions to be tightened ahead of the long Easter weekend. This comes as fears of a third wave mount. To discuss how another restriction could affect the industry currently that's in recovery, we joined this lunchtime by Sibani Mngadi from the South African Liquor Brand Owners Association. Mr. Mngadi, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. Just a short while ago, we saw the President live in Gqeberha at the Aspen Pharmaceutical Facility. He was asked about restrictions, and he said the National Coronavirus Command Council will meet tomorrow to discuss and evaluate the situation, and after their assessments, an announcement might be made if it's necessary to make some restrictions. But that advisory committee last week mentioning restricting alcohol sales, how would you react if that was the case?
Well, we are very much concerned. Thank you very much for the opportunity. We are very much concerned about that suggestion. There has been engagement at NETLEC, which is a structure where business, labor and government interact on the issues of the economy. And the view from that forum was that we try and keep all of these sectors as open as possible to be able to recover from the economic decline that we are in. What does
as open as possible look like for your industry?
Well, the suggestion from our side was that then we look at limiting the number in terms of gatherings. Certainly, as an industry, we will not be sponsoring any events which will normally have sponsored during this period, because we do believe that it will convene a large number of people and cause increase in infections. And we have also said we need to look at the issue of the curfew. Can it be earlier, so that then we limit the movement of people? And those two combinations can be able to manage the possibility of a spread of infections. We certainly do not see any greater risk of accessing, for instance, a purchase at a poker store versus a purchase of any grocery item. The level of risk of infection is ordinarily the same, and we encourage people to consume safely at home. And also the restaurant and bars, they can be able to abide by the rules of social distancing, sanitizing, and trading within those limited hours of the
so Mr. Mngadi, you wouldn't support any recommendation for reduced trading hours?
Yes, that's why I'm saying if you move the curfew by default, then you are limiting the time at which on-trade or restaurants and bars can operate, and that can be considered. We have put forward 11 p.m. instead of current.
What about normal trading hours for the retailers who sell alcohol?
The retailers, what we call the off-trade, where you purchase for home consumption, as I said, we do not see what the risk is related to that. Certainly, people will be able to purchase and consume.
Mr. Mngadi, then what would you do? What would you do if an announcement comes out and there's more restrictions on your industry? What will your association then take? What would be the action that you would take?
Yeah, we have indicated clearly that we would like to see the scientific basis for that decision. I think the National Command Center has indicated that they take decisions based on the scientific advice, whether from the Ministerial Advisory Committee, Council, or any other state research institution, and we would like to have a look at that. Because what's concerning is a proposal which has been coming through in the media that gatherings might be increased, but there will be economic activity that is shut down, and we do not see a correlation between the two in terms of our collective.
Yeah, I hear you say, but my question was, if, let's say, they come up with an announcement that says there will be restricted sales or no sales, or somehow your industry is affected, what action would you take?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. We would like to access the information that constitute the basis for that decision, and then based on whether that information substantiates a decision, we will then be able to take appropriate action. Currently, we do not see a scientific basis for taking such a decision, and therefore we would like, through the public access to information and administrative justice, to have access to that information, and then we can be able to challenge it accordingly.
So could you foresee legal action by your association?
At this stage, we haven't taken that decision. There are two court cases that are currently underway. They are taking their own course. There's one from the winemakers, Vinpro, and there's another one from South African breweries. And those cases, I assume they will continue as they would. But certainly, this is a specific decision that we need to deal with. And South African constitution and administrative law requires that government becomes transparent and account for the decisions taken, and we will take that route.
So just to summarize very quickly, Mr. Mngadi, your association does not see any reason at this stage for your industry to be affected in any way by new restrictions if we do get new Easter restrictions?
Yes, we do not see a reason why those restrictions need to include cancellation of sales, in which case all traders need to comply with the requirements.
Mr. Mngadi, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Mngadi. This lunchtime, we'll have to wait and see if and when such an announcement is going to be made. The President saying earlier in Gqeberha at the Aspen facility when he was answering a question from the media that the National Coronavirus Command Council is set to meet tomorrow, and then it will assess and decide what kind of restrictions we might be facing over Easter. I guess we have to wait and hear when that time comes.